Emotional abuse is something we don't talk about as often as I think we should. And the reason for that is that as a society, we tend to look down on it or downplay it because it doesn't leave bruises or scars unlike physical abuse. Now, I'm actually ashamed to say I used to be someone that would say something like the only time I would get involved in a friend or anybody's relationship is if I think or I see signs of physical abuse. Now, my reason for saying that wasn't really because I didn't think emotional abuse was anything, but actually because in this life, if there are two sets of people you don't advise. Number one, you see people that have money, and two, people that are in relationship. Most times when you get involved in people's relationship, they find a way to make you the bad guy. Before you know, you start hearing things like you're in fact, it never ends well when you get involved in people's relationship. There's always something that they would say or that they would do, and you become the enemy of that relationship. And if you know me in real life, you will know that I like to mind my business. I don't like wahala, I don't like trouble. So as a general rule, I try to avoid getting involved in people's relationship. But now that I have grown and have come to understand and see the impact that emotional abuse can have on a person, I don't mind. Call me the bad guy. Come tell me I'm the one that is jealous. Tell me I want your man. In fact, tell me that because I'm single, I want to destroy your relationship. I accept it. Like I accept it with my full chest. I am never again going to keep quiet or keep silent when I see someone in an abusive relationship. Emotional abuse fucks with your mind. Even the Bible told us that we should guard our hearts, or in this case, guard your mind with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Every great invention, every great innovation, the aircraft we board, the electricity, everything, those ideas literally came from someone's mind. Like somebody thought of it in their mind and they brought it out to life. So that woman, that vision, that great woman or great man that you want to be, the only way you can be that person, like it starts from your mind, is when you believe the things that your mind tells you, you follow them and you follow through. That's the only way you can become that person. So imagine how being in an emotionally abusive relationship can cripple you. Now, for the sake of this video, for every time I say the word relationship, I don't want you to just focus on romantic relationship between man and woman. Relationship for today's video could be the relationship between you and your parents, relationship between your siblings, relationship with your friends. It's not just romantic relationship. Let us start by defining what emotional abuse is. Emotional abuse is a series of behavior that aims to control, humiliate, or belittle another individual. It is a silent weapon that is often hidden behind words, actions, or even silence. Like I said earlier, unlike physical abuse, the bruises and the scars are not obvious. Nobody gets to see it. But I'm here to tell you that the impact, the effect of emotional abuse can be just as profound or even more profound than that of physical abuse. This type of abuse can be overt, as in it can be very expressive. Sometimes it could be easy for you to tell that okay, this person is an abusive relationship. Other times it can be very subtle because it is coming from someone who claims they love you. It's coming from your mother that carried you for 9 months. It's not possible that this woman does not love you. It's not possible that she doesn't want the best for you. But the things she tells you are for us to better understand emotional abuse. Let's talk about the different forms of emotional abuse. For the sake of this video, we're going to be talking about 5 different types of emotional abuse. Now, the first one is verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is probably the most common of all the types of emotional abuse. And this is something that we as a society, we as Nigerians, we've normalized it so much. These are things that we've seen our parents do, we've seen our aunties do, we've seen our neighbors do. Even we ourselves are guilty of it. We insult people on the road, we shout at people, we talk down on people, so we see it as normal. But I'm here to tell you that it is a very unhealthy behavior. Verbal abuse can take different forms: yelling, name calling, constant criticism. If you're having an issue with someone, it is not enough reason for the person to insult you or to talk down on you. I, for one, I have a personal boundary that I've set for myself, and anybody that I allow to get close to me, I do not mess with verbal abuse. The minute you insult me, it's one thing. Even as play said, even now, I don't even want us to do it as play. Like, let's not insult each other as play. Talk more of maybe we're having an argument, and before you know it, you're telling me I'm mad. You're telling me you could beat me up. You're telling me I don't have sense. Like, that is the day our friendship or whatever relationship we have, that is the day it's going to end. Because even the Bible has told us that out of life and death is in your tongue. So if me as a human being, I don't stay and say negative things to myself, there is no way I'm letting anybody around me that is going to speak negatively to me. So I really think this is a boundary everybody should have. Don't keep people around you that look down on you. Don't keep people around you that insult you. Even if you are having an argument with someone, there is no reason to shout. Like, I'm not deaf, I can hear you. Present your point in a matured and in a concise manner. You don't have to scream, you don't have to insult me. Another type of emotional abuse is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is a particularly corny form of emotional abuse. If there is anybody that I am scared of in this life, it's somebody who can gaslight you. You would have an issue with somebody or something happened between you and someone, and they would deny things that they said to you. They would deny, they say, I didn't do this thing, I didn't say that, I did not. And you have a clear picture, a clear memory of this person doing this thing, but they will twist it in such a way that you start asking yourself, am I okay? Are they imagining things? Like, is something wrong with me? A gaslighter is going to offend you, and you will be the one apologizing for what they did to you. And even on the few occasions you try to stand up for yourself, they'll tell you things like you are overreacting, you take things too personal, it's not that deep. You cannot hurt somebody and tell them how to respond to what you have done to them. So when I tell you that people that gaslight, they scare me, like if I just see any sign that this person is a gaslighter, like, please just carry your wahala and be going. I don't want you around me, I don't need you in my life. Isolation is another type of emotional abuse. Now, in this case, the abuser tries to cut you off from your support system, your friends, your family, people that love you, people that genuinely care about you. They will cut you off from those people. And I know that it can be particularly hurtful. Maybe when you have a friend and then she gets into a relationship and she cuts you off, it's just her and a man. I know it's painful. I promise you, this thing has been done to me. And I remember the times when she would not have issues with the so-called man, she would always come back to me. And another of my friend was constantly telling me, this girl is using you, she doesn't even like you like that, like, why do you keep tolerating this behavior and taking her back? It's why she continues doing it to you. But I didn't care. She's someone that I'm like that. Like, if I love you, I'll love it if you give me a reason to not love you. And although the distance was hurting me, but she had not directly done something to really hurt me, so I continued taking her back till that relationship ended. Even the day it ended, she had to run away from the house. Like, she jumped from the window and ran away because this guy had locked her up for weeks, and I refused to let her leave the house. So it was when she came and she told me everything. She was like, oh, this guy was being abusive, he wouldn't let her talk to anybody, he would delete contacts from her phone. Basically, he cut her off from everybody, from people that cared about her, even from her neighbors. He cut her off from everybody. Like, he didn't want her to say hi to anybody. So if this man is telling you, it's because I'm jealous, I don't want you to go and be with your friends, I would miss you, I promise you, it is not love. That person is looking for a way to control you, because isolation works with other forms of abuse. And most times the abusers, they have friends, so they have their own friends, they go out to parties, they do other things, but they will deceive you and tell you, I love you, I don't want to share you, come home. They will do that because they want to keep you in a cage. Number 4 is controlling behavior. Controlling behavior is when someone tries to control who you talk to, what you wear, how you spend your money. I'm not saying the people around you should not have an input in your life. They can advise you. They can tell you, oh, this is your friend, I don't think she's a good person. But they would advise you and leave you to do whatever you like. It's not like they'll put it as a requirement or force you to do something. Don't dress like this. You met me, you saw that this is how I dress. You told me you love me. We got into a relationship. Let's say we got married, and now you want me to change. You want me to become this version of me that you have created in your head. And when I refuse to change, it becomes an issue. Controlling behavior is one major hallmark of abusive relationship. If someone is constantly trying to control you, tell you, don't talk to this person, don't do this, don't do that, most times they don't even tell you why, that person is being abusive. Last but not the least is emotional manipulation. Now, this usually comes hand in hand with guilt tripping and silent treatment. Guilt tripping, you're always angry when you try to set boundaries for yourself. or when you try to stand up for yourself, and then they use silent treatment as a tool to punish you. A friend of mine was telling me about someone she knew, that this girl was in her final year and her parents were not well to do. They didn't have money to pay her school fees. Her boyfriend was supposed to pay the fees for her, but because they had an issue, this guy refused to pay the school fees, and she ended up with an extra year. So I was like, are you sure? Maybe he did not have money that time and they didn't know how to tell her. She said, no, this guy is somebody who is comfortable, who is very wealthy, but because they were having issues, he decided to teach her a lesson by not paying for her fees. And this girl had an extra year. These are the kind of men that the day you do CS operation for them and you come back home, they'll tell you to go and make pounded yam for them. That's to tell you how wicked. I told her, I was like, that guy does not love that girl. That is not love. Because even if they had an issue, maybe the girl did something very bad to him that pained him, even if you want to end that relationship, and they did not break up, oh, they did not break up. Like, they were just quarreling and he said, in fact, I'm not going to give you this money again. And that's how he did not give her the money. So it's like, even if you guys broke up, maybe this person did something to you and you feel like, I can't continue this relationship, at least for the love you shared, for the fact that, oh, this person was good to you, even if it's to lend, to borrow the person the money, you know that, okay, this one now is not, I want to buy clothes, or I want to buy shoe, or I want to get a new phone. This is your education. It comes, not paying that fees comes with a cost. Like, you can't, I don't know, Sha, but like, I felt so bad. I was like, that guy does not love that girl. And if she knows what is good for her, she should leave that relationship, because this person is being controlling. This person is being emotionally manipulative. When you are not a dog that your owner will tell you, sit down. If you sit down, they will give you bone. Why would somebody tell you that if you don't do what they want, they won't care for you, or they'll withhold acts of kindness from you? That is very, very wrong. And if you are in that kind of relationship, this is a very red flag. It is the biggest red flag of all. Leave that relationship. Now, for this issue of silent treatment, there are different types of silent treatment. There was a time in my relationship where my man, when we have issues, he won't talk to me, and it was really affecting me. Like, I didn't like it at all. And I remember one day I was really sad about it, and I was on Snapchat. She's not really an influencer, but she was doing like a Q&A section kind of thing. And I was like, if you're having issues with your partner and it gives you the silent treatment, what does it mean? And the person replied on a public story. I was like, it means you are in an emotionally abusive relationship. And I felt so bad. I was just praying. I was like, God, how I say enter relationship where they abuse me emotionally? And the Holy Spirit made me understand certain things. He asked me certain questions, opened my eyes to seeing certain things. In my relationship, we have an unwritten rule. I've told you guys, I do not tolerate verbal abuse. The minute you start telling me I'm mad or I'm stupid, just get out of my life. So already, we don't do name calling in our relationship. Like, I've been with my partner for a very, very long while. If you know, you know. And he has never for once insulted me or said, are you okay? He has never, not even for once. So we don't do that. But there are times maybe we're having a disagreement and then it gets heated and there is a bit of yelling or somebody starts to shout. But that's something that we both decided to work on. We took accountability because he has done it, I have done it, and we both decided that we don't want this kind of relationship. So now it doesn't happen anymore. If things are getting heated up, I could be the one to tell him, okay, you're raising your voice, or he tells me, Debbie, you're raising your voice, and immediately the voice comes down. And so, but like, when we have issues, sometimes he won't really speak to me for like 2 days. And the Holy Spirit was like, in those 2 days, what happens? In those 2 days, immediately he wakes up, the first thing he asks me, have you eaten? Although he's not smiling, it's not the usual playful, baby, what would you eat? It's like, have you eaten? What would you eat today? It gives me more money. Maybe normally, it gives me more money than it gives me on a normal day when things are good with us. Whatever I ask for, if I say I want ice cream, if I say I want pizza, anything I want, he would buy for me. But we're not in our normal playful terms, but he still cares for me. If somebody is withholding kindness from you because you have an issue with that person, when I tell you it is a red flag, believe me, it is a red flag. This person will use your eye, see pepper. It means this person just wants to control you. It's like, for every time you have to work for their favor, you have to earn their favor, you have to prove to them that you deserve the 5K they are giving you, or you deserve, like, I don't know what else I can say, but if you're in that kind of relationship, pack your bags and leave. So those are the 5 forms of emotional abuse. If anybody you are involved with, your parents, your friends, if they exhibit any of this behavior, it is all the sign you need to know that that is an unhealthy relationship and you need to set boundaries. Now, the effects of emotional abuse, I already said it can be as profound as that of physical abuse or even more. Emotional abuse can lead to anxiety, PTSD. It can make you have a very low self-esteem. I remember one of my baby girls, she told me the guy she was dating at the time would tell her that I've dated girls that are finer than you. It would make her feel like he's settling by being with her. And it's like, and the day she told me, it broke me. In fact, that's the first time I told somebody to leave a relationship. I told her, I said, this is not healthy, this is not nice. If somebody treats you like this, if somebody speaks to you like this, it is completely unacceptable. Imagine if the person who claims to love you the most in this world tells you you are not as beautiful as the girls he talks to normally. How are you supposed to walk into a room with confidence? How are you supposed to walk into a room and feel beautiful and feel sexy? Like, it is impossible. If your mom that bettered you is telling you you are good for nothing, you go home to your husband and you are walking on eggshells, you can't talk to him, you want to ask him for something, you'll be like, how should I say it? Should I say it like this? Should I say it like that? Because you don't want to upset somebody, you don't want to say something that is going to cause fight. How are you supposed to confidently raise your hand up in a meeting and share your opinion? So the effects of emotional abuse, it's a lot. Like I told you, it can cripple you. Even the things that you have achieved, it can make you feel like you don't deserve them. It's just luck. That is by luck you got those things. It can make you feel worthless. It can literally drive you to suicide. So how do you recognize it? How do you know that you are in an emotional abusive relationship? The only thing I'll tell you is to trust your instincts. I don't know how they say it. If it quacks like a duck, it is a duck, something like that. But trust your instincts. Ask yourself, how do I feel when I'm with this person? Do I feel loved? Do I feel supported? Do I feel respected? Or am I always anxious? Do I feel drained? Instead of, am I overthinking everything that I do when I'm with this person? So if you ask yourself those questions and you I'm sure as I'm even saying it, you're already answering the questions in your head, you know the answer. And I pray that God gives you the strength to move away from that situation. I am a Christian. I would always say it. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. God is my everything. The, the one time I decided to ask human being for advice, I could have left my beautiful relationship because they told me it was emotionally abusive. It wasn't until I went to the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit cleared it up for me. I'm not saying keeping malice in a relationship is healthy. It is not. As at now, we've worked on it. It doesn't happen anymore. Like, we don't keep malice anymore. Anyhow it is, we'll hug, we'll talk it out, or we could be like, okay, let's talk about this thing the next day. We don't do it anymore. But the Holy Spirit was the person that opened my eyes to see those things. So my number one advice would always be to pray. Run to God with your problems. Run to God with everything. But I know not everybody's a Christian or not everybody believes in God. If you don't believe in God, it's absolutely fine. I pray the Holy Spirit is going to arrest you and convict you. But until then, you're still welcome. I love you. Please continue watching my videos. And so yeah, my number one advice would always be to run to God. Number two is going to be go for therapy. But I know therapy is expensive. Not everybody can afford it. I don't know of any free therapy service in Nigeria. If you do, please drop a comment and share it with us. Even me, like this, I need therapy. I want to go for therapy. But yeah, you could also look for someone you trust, somebody you are 100% sure has your best interest at heart, that you can confide in and talk to. Like we said earlier, abusers would always want to isolate you from your support system. Do not allow them do that. Talk to somebody you trust who is going to give you good and reasonable advice. And also, my DMs are always open. Send me a DM. I don't care whatever it is you're going through, talk to me about it. I'll open it, I would respond to you, I'll talk to you till I'm sure you are okay. Because I don't like it when somebody is sad, I don't like it when somebody is depressed, and if there's anything I can do to help, I 100% want to do it. Now, before we end this video, let me say this one thing. Most times we as humans, we are more concerned with how people treat us. We forget to ask ourselves how we treat people. We forget to check how we treat people. So sometimes you could actually be the problem. You could be the abuser. You could be the one who is gaslighting. You could be the manipulator in your relationship. So all these things that I said, they also apply to you. Ask yourself all these questions. Your partner, anybody you are involved with, ask them, what are the things that I do to you that affect you negatively? Do you feel seen by me? Do you feel loved by me? And accept honest feedback from them. So ask your best friend, do you feel loved? Is there something I do that affects your self-esteem? Is there something I do that makes you feel bad about yourself? Maybe when we go out in public, there are times I yell at you and you don't like it. Talk, like, allow the people around you to be comfortable and free enough to open up to you, just in case you are the problem. And if you are the problem, please pray and cast out that spirit. Work on yourself, change. Don't go and damage another person's life because you refuse to be an adult and fix your issues. We all have trauma. All of us, we have trauma, but there is a certain age you get to that excuse does not work anymore. You have to take responsibility for yourself. So if you are the problem, please and please, I'm warning you and I'm begging you, check on yourself. So you guys, we have come to the end of today's video. This was a very heavy topic for me. I don't think I smiled even once all through while filming this video because of how important it is. But yeah, I'm so grateful that I was able to do this. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, subscribe. And most importantly, I want you to share this video, not necessarily because I'm trying to boost my channel analytics or I'm looking for subscribers. It would be nice to have subscribers, but please share this video because, like I said in the beginning, emotional abuse is something people do not talk about. And there are people around us, our friends, our siblings, our colleagues. There are so many people around us who are in emotionally abusive relationships and they don't know. They've accepted it as normal. They think it's okay. So this is why you should share this video so it gets to as many people as many people that need it. But yeah, we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Please drop a comment as well. Let me know what you think about this video. Yeah, just talk to me about anything. And like I said, if you know of any therapy kind of thing in Nigeria, I am interested. Even me, I want to go for therapy. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.